All right. So I'm going through my Twitter feed and I come to an article that says, so on Good Friday, Bill Gates' new Microsoft ad drop featuring prominent Satanist Marina Abramovic, who makes art out of blood and gore and cannibalism, working with Microsoft. Bill Gates. So we already know about his whole obsession with thinning out the herd, getting it down to a number of some 50 million people. So the thing that blew my mind with this whole Marina Abramovic is the fact that there's a Satanist working with Microsoft to make a virtual product basically for Microsoft. With that being said, Microsoft can't be about God, if you think about it, because you got one of the leading Satanists who does, and I don't know if anybody remembers, but when Hillary Clinton and John Podesta and they had seen their emails, and in the emails it was talking about spirit cooking, and everybody kind of went into a frenzy and was trying to figure out what's spirit cooking. We find out that it's a ritual basically that these elites are performing, and I could only guess that Marina Abramovic is their head witch, because they all seem to look up to her and have this great respect for her, and Lady Gaga just adores this lady. And if you look at this lady's art, it is absolutely sadistic. Her being a sponsor for Microsoft makes me extremely afraid, because you're actually having a virtual satanic ritual worship. So now you don't even have to go to the woods anymore. You can just do it from the comfort of your own office or your computer. So I was saying that to get to this. You should see the backlash that came from this. The backlash that actually came from her sponsoring Microsoft. People were disgusted.
Oh, Microsoft sponsoring her.
Microsoft sponsoring her.
Okay.
And her doing the commercial with Microsoft. And she pops up as a virtual...
Like Max Headroom.
Exactly. Like a hologram. Like the hologram pops up of her and everybody's standing around and they're like basically worshiping her.
Todd Eckert is geeked up.
We already know it.
Alex Marshall.
Him also.
Mm-hmm. I want to look these guys up. I want to see what's up with these guys too.
You already know what they got to be into.
The purest expression of artistic intent.
Yes.
What is going to stay after they're not there anymore?
Exactly.
Holy shit.
Exactly. That's why I had to show you this.
Holy shit.
Okay, so now we have... Tell me what you think first about what you saw.
All right, so Microsoft is going to introduce this technology, and it's virtual, where you put on this headset, you got the earpieces on, and Microsoft wants you to forget that you're actually using technology. They want you to feel like you're actually in the room with whoever is they're using for their virtual presentation, which in this case was Marina Abramovic. She said it's not about what's there now, what's happening now. She wants to leave a lasting impression once they leave the room. Mm-hmm. Now, Microsoft is introducing this technology, and they're talking about imprinting this stuff on your minds, forgetting that you're using technology, where you're actually in the room with this person. And she says, I can be here forever.
Yes.
These ideas can be implemented in your brain forever. And Microsoft is using
a known Satanist, a cult practitioner for their commercial. What do you think that these people are going to utilize this for? Oh, let me just put on these so I can go to an art gallery. And this is another form of getting us sucked into this occultism. This is all this is. Because now she's at your house. I heard a story a long time ago, but in Africa, they were actually helping people that were possessed. And one of the people that had been possessed by a demon was talking to the person doing the exorcism. He said, I knew you took a plane. You were doing a plane to go and give your testimony to these other Christians. So I sent other demons out to make you sick. The person performing the exorcism looks at him like, oh my God, how did you know that? There's no way you could have known that. And he's like, well, how are you getting into people and doing this evil magic and whatnot? The demon proceeds with saying, it's through Facebook. Y'all don't know that it's through Facebook. And since this is like a new era, a new age where things are different, like signatures are different, where you can actually put a signature via the internet and it's still your signature. Mm-hmm. So they're saying that what the demon does is it'll put a profile that you don't know and request you. And once you
sign that contract,
you sign the contract, or you've allowed it to come into your life. And he said that's how I'm able to get people. And people don't realize that this is basically like a contract or opening a portal, because you never knew who that person was who was sending you that friend request. The same thing like a million years ago where you sign a contract and you really, that was your basic, your signature.
Right.
So you're opening the portal, and he says every time y'all do that, human beings do
that friend request.
You're accepting that. You're opening the door. You're telling it, yes, come in. I can interfere in your life, and that in itself blew my mind.
Wow.
That's critical because.
And Microsoft at the forefront of this shit.
Come on now.
And who are they putting as their forefront person?
Marina Abramovic, and she's a known Satanist, and she has the craziest art. It's statues of children with coagulated blood poured all over them. She even throws parties for the Hollywood elite, and at these parties they have a cake made of a person, and it's like a red velvet. So when you cut into the cake, its insides are red, and it's the representation of a body, which is weird, because why would you have to have a cake that looks like a human to make the representation of basically devouring
human flesh?
Exactly. And another thing that's been crazy on Twitter is this cannibalism deal that was popping up. Mm-hmm. And it was a site that actually was selling since 2008 parts. And I was telling you, I think we talked about this the other day,
right,
where they were actually selling donated parts of people. So you die, you donate the parts, and then people consume those parts.
There's a place that sells body parts that people donate for consumption.
Yes, and here's what you would be like, okay, well, that's got to be fake. The site has been up since 2008. It's still up to this day. What they're saying is that people go on there and they, of course, vet who's purchasing whatever. It's not just anybody. They're going to go through all the bells and whistles to find out who you actually are. Because who would want to ruin that if you've got that industry, cannibalism. And to purchase human meat can't be just like going and getting a T-bone steak from, you know what I'm saying? Right. You know, you're going to probably be coming off some serious money for some. Yes. So on this site, what I saw on there was, okay, so roughly how much does it cost to run a website, to keep it up?
You talk about a good website where you got some good traffic, probably maybe like $1,000 a month or something like that.
Okay, so from 2008 to now, if this was an ongoing joke, who would really want to be shelling out that just to be like, this is for fun? So how prevalent is cannibalism in the world now? What turns a person on to wanting to eat another human being? I understand that there's people out there that want to eat bats, rats, and cats. But what makes you one day wake up and say, I want to eat some human?
Well, you know what, brother? The fact that I don't know is probably a good thing.
Yeah, you're right.
It's probably a good thing that I don't understand why someone would want to do that.
You're right, though. If you have an understanding in your mind of why they're doing what they're doing,
I'm probably
as sick as they are.
Exactly.
You're right. Mm-hmm.